Welcome back, Golly Vibes brothers and sisters. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome for the first time if this is your first time. If you are a faithful listener, welcome back to the show. Today's episode is beautiful. Why? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood because more people are starting to look more into what's going on. We talked about how there was many different holes. Why aren't people looking into this? Well, Mr. Patrick Bet-David just had an episode where him and especially his friend Vinny, I don't know who Vinny is or where he's from, but he's on Patrick Bet-David's show, and he was going off. He was going off, just like Candace be going off. So to see this, I was very surprised because when everything initially happened, Patrick Bet-David was pretty much like, like even when it came to Candace, like they weren't really in it like they're in it right now, right? But that shows me the heart, because even Patrick was like, if it's this, but if it's not, he wasn't like, it's not. He wasn't like, yo, hush, see y'all. He wasn't like, everybody be quiet. Now they're really on something else. Now they're really like, why isn't nobody checking this stuff out? Now they're really like, why is the construction going on over there? Now they're really like, why wasn't caution tape around the crime scene? Now they're really like, there's holes. Why is nobody on his team or that was on his team looking into this? Guys, I don't know if you know it yet, but stuff is getting real and it's really going to get hot on different individuals who are supposed to be close to Charlie, and I don't care how close. I don't care how close. People start to ask questions, and if those individuals who are very close don't start asking questions themselves, that's going to smell real fishy. But check out this clip from PBD, Patrick Bet-David podcast, with Vinny going off, with Patrick going off, different individuals really wanting to know more truth. And man, these are the questions that people should be asking. Simple as that. Simple as that. We've been talking about this case for a good couple of days now, and it's because no one else is doing it except CO. Maybe a couple other people, but big individuals like Patrick, Candace was the only other one. But now he's starting to speak on it too. Where are Charlie's friends? Where is Charlie's close buddies? His spouse? Listen, let's check it out.
Charlie Kirk and new stories coming out. So last week we showed a clip, maybe on Monday, the Range Day Bro clip. Guy on Manek sends me a message saying, Pat, that Range Day Bro clip you played was great, but a guy just sent me something showing a complete different thing. Fast forward the Range Day Bro clip to about 4 minutes. Keep going, and go a little bit more. Okay, back up a little bit, Rob. Back up a little bit. Where it shows the headset on Charlie's ear. Go back. Let's see if we're going to see it or not. Go back a little bit. So he's showing this part. Oh, man. Okay, right there. Play it from right there, Rob.
Comes in. I don't see a bullet coming in anywhere. In that circle area, you have the blood splatter go down, then up, and then the exit wound emerges.
You're also going to find out this guy talks out both sides of his mouth. He'll say something like, the FBI is lying, the official narrative is lying, and then he'll say, I'm not accusing anybody of anything.
What matters is that the official narrative is not true.
See that,
again,
that thing that comes out, it looks like it's blood, right?
Lying. They will say it's 100% conclusive,
so,
or it's already been proven.
It looked like blood. Even we thought it was blood, right? Now, Rob, go fast forward at a different angle with him. Just fast forward the clip. And go until he shows the angle. Keep going. Okay, right there. Go back about 20 seconds. Okay, play it from right there. Go ahead.
So we're going through here step by step, frame by frame until we find it. So that right there, you could see his reaction right here. So this is what I believe to be the first frame capturing his reaction.
First of all, we definitely know it's coming from that side, especially from the episode we showed yesterday of Jason Goodman going into complete detail about where the bullet came from, actually showing the bullet. We know where it's coming from.
Action of anything from the bullet. So now here, when you look around his ear, I believe that is
one
the
of those
wire,
earpiece, like the wire when you speak.
And it's often a transparent type wire. Now let's go ahead one more frame.
That comes up, so it looks like it's blood
now behind him. That is certainly not blood splatter like this guy falsely claimed. And also, where's the blood dripping that he was claiming was dripping on the side of Charlie's head. There is no blood there because there was no entry wound here.
That's his
One
opinion,
more frame. You could see that it was up in the air. You can see it's still right there, still vertical. And now it's right there. It just flung behind his head, and it's kind of going diagonal right there. And keep your eye right there on that spot. You're going to see it disappear on the next frame. See, it moved up and gone already because of the force of the impact. Now, nowhere here is there any type of entry wound. You would have seen an explosive entry wound by now, just like we did from the views from the front, which shows that there was absolutely 0 shots hitting Charlie from this side. So anybody that tries to show you a video from
Pause it right there. Okay, so remember, guys, this is why I love what's going on right now. Because everybody is what? Reacting to whatever they have and reacting to whatever they have. Tom, when you see this, what do you think about?
Well, I want to see all the perspectives and all the angles. I don't want to keep seeing, Charlie and the moment of passing there. But I want to know for sure what's up. And everybody that is a forensic analyst is saying the same thing. They said, that does not look like an entry wound on the front of his neck. That does not look like an entry wound. That looks like an exit wound. You have hunters that have talked about this. You have people that are coroners that have talked about this. And so the question is,
It's not.
Okay, how did such a cataclysmic wound happen there? And the bullet, Man of Steel, was lodged in there. Okay, is somebody going to do ballistics? So I'm waiting for conclusive data from a real investigation, other than, hey, his DNA was on this firearm. Okay, but had the firearm been fired? And do we have ballistics on the bullet that you said was found in his neck, just below the skin? I want to see all these angles, and I'm glad that one is keeping others in check. But man, that's an exit wound from the front. That's my opinion based on the folks that I'm watching who are experts in these kind of forensics. And so the question is, how do you get that kind of a wound?
Vinny.
I'm with Tom 100%. They're claiming, this is the FBI and everybody, that it was the 30-06. It was not a 30-06. The official narrative is not official. And this guy is just another, and I get 100%, it looks like an earpiece, but from anybody that shot guns and knows about this type of thing, that if it was a 30-06, it would have been it would have been disgusting. It would have been a lot worse than what you guys saw, number one. Number two, all this footage, was camera phones sucked in and it's blurry. The main footage is the HD camera that was sitting behind Charlie shooting down, capturing him and the entire crowd. But somebody from Turning Point grabbed it, was all sneaky with it, put it in a hat and give it to another guy that ran off. And we're supposed to just take their word that this guy handed it off after he looked at it and gave it to the FBI.
Interesting. Remember, he's talking about the same guy that Jason Goodman brought up over there in the cut and then came back on the scene. With no caution tape, and not being blocked off, people were just able to walk over there. Some people was grabbing hats. Insanity.
I'm sorry, I don't believe the official narrative.
You called the school. What
I
happened
called
when you
yesterday.
called the school?
I called, and Amanda was with me. She recorded it. I called UVU, and I called to the main desk, and I said, "Hey, I'm with such and such." I made up a thing, and I said, "I'm trying to find out if you guys, because the construction that's happening right now is unbelievable. It doesn't even look like what it is right now, okay? Doesn't make sense." I said, who do I talk to? You guys just had, and I apologize, you guys had the biggest assassination since JFK on your campus. Was there scheduled construction on the exact site where this happened? Can you comment on that? He goes, let me direct you to the right place. Your conversations, you're typing, sends me to like maintenance or something like that. And it's a female that picks up. And I go, hey, I'm so-and-so with media. I go, I'm just curious. Did you guys have construction set up? Whispering, talking to I can't talk to you about that. I go, no, hold on one second. I don't need information about the shooting or nothing like that. Did you guys have scheduled maintenance? Because I would assume that if it's an assassination at this magnitude, you would leave the crime scene for potential bullets, potential, fragments, other things to recreate in the scene. There's stuff in that ceiling, that overhead, Pat, that there's cameras, there's an opening that you could get in there. I'm like, how is this normal? Who made the decision? I can't say anything. Let me give you the information to our VP of Strategic and Communications Management. I called her 3 times. I don't even want to say her name. I called 3 times. Nobody picked up, and I left a message. I'm just trying to figure out with this type of magnitude. And you know what's insane? For how many minutes after, not one police officer went there and secured the crime scene. I've watched multiple videos. I've watched aftermath of videos. I saw people coming and stealing hats off the truck and throwing them. Some guy's like, what the hell are you doing? There's no way this type of cover-up. And the fact that when you
That's a fact. That law enforcement should have shown up and taped the scene.
Why didn't they?
And you know what's crazy?
Just like Butler.
They were there, though. I don't know, but you know what's crazy, Pat? I saw a cop. One cop basically had his gun drawn while they were bringing Charlie, God rest his soul, to the vehicle. Your job, bro, is to go... This idiot... And by the way, Candace yesterday was talking about this guy, Pat. She knows him. She goes, never...
So individuals is watching CO, and they're starting to believe what she's saying. Clearly, if he's saying, even Candace was talking about this. Clearly, but that's good. More people are starting to look into the story.
Has this guy ever been around when we were on tour?
This who? Back up a second and say who we're talking about.
The guy with the camera that was taking the SD card out.
Who stood on the chair.
Who stood? Think about this, guys. It's a crime scene. You're moving the chair that he was shot. There's probably evidence in there if there was, God forbid, a bullet in there. He's climbing up there, moving everything, and nobody's saying anything? Common sense 101. You're touching the crime scene. That's the main event. That camera has everything. Okay, and I'm sorry. People are like, who do you trust? Get Israel, get all that out of there. The way that it was handled.
This is who he's talking about. This guy right here, right? How is he there? We spoke about this yesterday. This is before I even seen Vinny talking about this. What is going on? How is he moving the chair? How are these individuals just walking around there? This is a whole crime scene. Why is this not taped off? One of the worst assassinations we've seen, like he said, since JFK. Why in the world is this not taped? This is blowing my mind. Till this day, this blows my mind. People are just walking around. Where's law enforcement? Like, this looks normal. You would never even know that a shooting took place right here. You know how off this is? This dude just tampered with evidence. The whole camera that was behind, he took down. This man should be in jail. This man should be looked at. This man should be questioned. And further questioned than him just getting questioned and let go. This is tampering with evidence, ladies and gentlemen. That was the only camera that was the closest, I'll say. Camera to Charlie. Look at this. Look at this. And hold on, wait. Why did the camera turn as he took it down? Then they want to turn, come back and it's down. Anybody notice that? Oh, he's taking the camera down. Let's go ahead and turn the camera real quick. What are you turning the camera for? Whoa. Guys, I'm sorry. And that's supposed to be a turning point associate. Somebody who works for Turning Point. That's crazy.
And the fact that his friends and everybody else have just moved on and they're worrying about Turning Point does not sit with me well, Pat. And I'm talking about my mom. I'm talking about people from all walks of life are like, something doesn't feel right. My mom, my aunt, my cousins, my friends. I'm having messages from people that I haven't talked to in years that are like, I know I watched the show and everything. They go, none of us feel like what we're being told is the truth. Not with Tyler, not with none of it is adding up. The boyfriends disappeared. Now they're trying to say that Tyler didn't even step foot on the campus
so let me
that
ask
day.
you this. What do you think is going to end up happening?
Just like every single time, PBD, they always get away with it. Evil on this sense, they get away with it because we're almost 3 weeks into it, and I know some of her points are a little out there. She's the only one. Nobody from their side is asking questions like this. If you're
he's talking about Candace. I know her points are a little out there, but she's the only one looking into this. She's the only one investigating this. We all see it's off. Why is nobody looking into this? Why is nobody else bothering to come in and try to go deeper?
Friend, Pat, and I died. I would want you to be like, wait a minute. Why were you touching shit? Who has the footage? And it doesn't add up. Tyler doesn't even add up.
Happen, Tom?
So I'm thinking three things. Actually more like two. The first is there are hard facts that dots aren't connecting. Did he fire one shot from up on top? Crowd reaction appears to be a little different. And he really ran off that way with that gun of that size in that jacket or blanket, whatever he had there. He was walking peg leg down the street with the gun down the leg of his pants. You know, there's things on the Tyler angle that don't add up. Why is this older gentleman standing up when everybody would be ducking down? You know, I was in a restaurant when a gunshot went off in a bar, one gunshot. Everybody was on the ground. We were all under the tables until a server said, you know, our security guy took the guy outside. Nobody got shot. But I've seen that. So that's one point in my life when I was in college. I heard a gunshot indoors. You're all down. Yep. Why is this old guy standing up waving a hat? So I see little facts like this that just don't seem to add up. Why wasn't there police there taping up the scene? Why are people taking cameras that would be holding footage that would be of great interest to the FBI? Why is the Utah governor coming to the microphone? We got him, and we got the gun. It reminds me, if you read Oswald, they did the same thing. They held up the Italian gun,
Everybody took the photos?
and then they talked about Oswald, and a day later they killed Oswald.
Yeah, weird.
Brandon, what do you think happened? What do you think's going on?
So these facts bother me. There's my headline, Pat. The facts that we can have.
Brandon, what do you think?
So the only thing I could say for certain is that we're clearly not being told everything that the FBI knows. We're not being told everything the hospital knows. We're not being told everything Turning Point knows. And that was one of the things I was most excited about for this administration was the notion of having a transparent FBI for the first time where, you know, we know the games they play for like with the JFK stuff, with the Butler, Pennsylvania stuff, and even the Epstein stuff. But, you know, we're not getting that. And you would think that somebody like Kirk, who was almost the most responsible person for getting Trump elected, like Trump could be in jail if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk with what the Democrats wanted to do for him. You would think that he would have come down with more vengeance and more curiosity about what happened to Kirk and spoke about that more. So I'm surprised to see that from Trump's end, that he's not more curious about what happened to Kirk. I'm surprised that Kash Patel's not being more transparent and forceful to find out what happened. And then not only that, they're withholding stuff from us in addition to not being transparent about it. So I don't think there's enough to say for certain who might have done it, but I can say for certain that we don't know everything they know, and they're like they're forcing us to come up with these theories and alternate opinions because they're deceptive.
How long are you willing to be patient? Like actually, Hanlon's razor, okay?
Achman?
Hanlon's razor.
What's that one?
Hanlon's razor, if you pull it up, Rob, I'll read it. Hanlon's razor is
Never attribute to malice.
Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity, Tom, or
a mistake.
So it suggests that negative events or poor actions are more often the result of ignorance, incompetence, carelessness, or other non-malicious factors than intentional evil or malice. Let's take this as innocent until proven guilty. Perspective real quick. Mm-hmm. None of this stuff makes sense. Bullet goes in here, shouldn't be an explosion. Bullet goes in here, it comes out because the damage doesn't go in like that. The damage comes out. So I'm with you. I'm on the same page. Mm-hmm. That coming out looks like it didn't come this way because at first we thought it was blood squirting. It's not blood squirting. It was actually things. So that's good that we're seeing that. The guy standing up automatically and starts walking towards the area being shot is the same guy that was there on 9/11. And then the guy putting the chip in the hat and walking, all this stuff, I'm with it. But to me, I guess the question I'm asking is, how long, imagine you're them. You are Kash. You're doing the investigation. How long should you have to get to the bottom of this? I guess that's the part that we don't know. And what is the protocol? What are you supposed to go through? What's supposed to be the process? How many people are you interviewing? How many people are you supposed to be talking to? You know, the fact that you're seeing the place being fixed up, and that's where the shooting was, and you get it fixed. Have they made an announcement why they did the construction?
Absolutely not.
It's not just
Has the
fixed up.
school made-
It changed.
I totally get it.
No
Rob,
autopsy.
is there any announcement by the university why they've done that?
No, I took a look this morning. I could not find a single news article, nothing about any type of construction that was being planned
Can
Can
either.
you send me? Is that clip on Twitter?
I have her number
Is
again.
that number?
Yes.
Pat, should I call her again?
There's no autopsy, right?
What is the?
I'm gonna call her name is Ellen. I could call them right now.
Call them right now.
Okay. I love this.
Call them right now. This is what? This is the university. Rob,
is
can we
UVU.
call and you just?
Hang on 1 second.
What I'm trying to find out is,
Z. I'm doing it.
all we want to know is one thing. Have you made the announcement of?
Utah is a one-party consent state, so you're good.
So I can do this?
But Florida's two-party.
So you can't do that. You can't do that.
Well, but this is all I've been getting. Nobody picks up.
I know. You can't do that.
okay.
So what I want to do is I'm going to ask the question to see if they've made the announcement. You don't just fix up the place that got shot up and not make an announcement about it. So play as if you're on the inside. What's your argument? Don't play the devil's advocate. Play the opposite of devil's advocate, which is, what do you call the opposite of devil's advocate? What is the antonym of devil's advocate? How do you
God's advocate.
Yeah, I mean,
do you know what I'm
because,
saying? Like
one
how do
being
you
the opposite
play
opinion.
like they're doing everything truthfully.
Okay.
What's your argument? You're on Cash's team. Give that argument.
On Cash's team, it's like, the shooter.
You would say that it'd be because they don't want to give evidence away that would be pertinent to know on the FBI side. But Cash is the one that came out and said, "Hey, we got him," before they even had him. So that contradicts the notion of them trying to withhold things from the public.
Yeah, saying that you have a shooter that fast before you actually had the shooter doesn't add any credibility to you, which you've already lost the
But
credibility.
remember, you're not doing it. Just do it for a second.
They wanted to throw out a narrative, which was dangerous. They should have just kept to themselves until they had hard facts. They want to throw out a narrative to the public and was probably told to do this if they weren't already in on it. Saying, this is the guy. This is the guy. Saying, this is the guy. Throwing out a narrative, feeding you something, because that's what they do when it comes to the public. They did it with JFK. They did it with MLK. That's what they do. Expect you to eat it up and get full off of the lie.
They're handling
You're the spokesperson for them, and you truly know everything they know. Okay? Speak on their behalf. What do you say?
Hey, I respect the public's curiosity here. It's a horrible thing that happened to a very public figure. This is an active investigation. There are multiple angles that are being pursued here, and we have to pursue those and complete the investigation without tipping off people or without framing it through the media, and we can't lose our opportunity to prosecute because certain things are misrepresented in the media. So you need to let us do our work. We're interviewing a lot of people and following a lot of leads. Now I'm stuck. So let's say I'm the press secretary for the FBI. Says, well, why did you say you have you got him? If there's a second shooter, don't you have to come forward and say you don't got him? So in that case, Pat, it would be hard for me. Now, how do I spin from the inside? So you're saying maybe you don't got him. You're saying you're still investigating him. Either you got him and you're done, FBI, or you're pursuing other leads, still looking into it. Which is it, sir? And you're kind of stuck. But from the inside, that's what I would be saying.
What's up, Rob?
It's interesting. There's some construction information that's been released by the Utah Valley University, but none of it has to do with the building that you guys are mentioning or where Charlie was shot. So they released a student center remodel. There's an article about that. There's also the Scott M. Smith building that they were constructing. There's also the stadium that they're going to be using. So they do issue announcements regarding construction ongoing at the campus. There's nothing written about where Charlie was shot and construction being done there.
Weird. It's so weird.
Here's the problem. The problem is it's hard to make a case for them. That's the problem. It's hard to make a case why it's if let's just say the school does have that construction scheduled. You're the FBI. You're the local PD. Guys, you're not touching this for 3 weeks.
Yeah, a week.
Can you look up, Rob, what is the longest a crime scene stayed intact?
Good question.
What is the longest a crime scene stayed intact just to get all evidence?
Or the average amount of time you...
The fact that they had construction going days after is mind-blowing. It's quite disrespectful. It's like they're just saying, we don't care what the public thinks. We spit on you. We don't care what you think. We don't care what your opinions are. We're going to say this lie and we're going to get away with it. Back up. That's what it's screaming to me.
I want to know the longest. And I want to know the longest, not the average time. I want to know, because shortly, average is going to be probably 8 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. Investigate the entire, homicide. Okay? I want to know this question because I want to make comps. I want to make comparisons. Let's look at this here. In Joseph Kennedy in 1969, the FBI exhumed the body. This decades later, don't get the DNA of Donald Johnson. If you like it, I can. No, I want to know how, because let's just say we'll look this up. Shouldn't be hard to find this, Rob. I just don't know if we're asking a question the right way. Let's just say if there's cases where it was 40 days, it better be bigger than this assassination. Let's say there's cases that's 2.5 months. I'm sure there are. Why did you move so quickly on this one? I don't understand that. Leave the scene the way it is until we get everything figured out. Okay, so World Trade Center, 8 months. Okay, John and Ramsey House, Boulder, 6-year-old murderer, family home remained under investigation
for months.
Evidence was collected over a long span, but the house was eventually released and later sold. The house remained sealed and under investigation for months. Okay, yeah. So John,
listen to me. They should have shut the school down. They should have shut the school down and moved everything out the way, cleared everything out the way, taped off this scene, and really investigated. They didn't do any of that. They didn't care nothing about Charlie. Nothing about Charlie. And now the individuals who are looking deep into this, who actually really cared about Charlie, like CO, different individuals like that, they want to call crazy. They want to say you're digging into conspiracy theories. They want to say you lost your mind. When in all actuality, these are just individuals who truly cared about this man and want to get down to the bottom of this. You see how they do? You see how the world does? You see how the world tries to make your mind go where they want it to go? Think the ideas that they want you to think? Push the agenda and the narratives that they want you to push? How do they do that? By gathering different individuals to think exactly how they want them to think. That's why it's important for us to come together, brothers and sisters, and be united. That's why it's important to trust each other. You know I'm not crazy. I've been right here in the middle this whole time, balanced, having an open heart for both sides. Candace, and seeing everybody bash her, come completely against her for just wanting to investigate more and more on her friend's assassination. One of her closest friends at that. When nobody else is doing it. I haven't seen nobody at Turning Point coming out like Candace did. It's been weeks now. Listen, if you could get on the show and talk about where Turning Point is going, then you can get on the show and talk about how nothing's adding up with Charlie's death. And this goes from Turning Point to even his wife. I said it. God dang it, I said it. And listen, I'm not one of the people who are trying to say she's wrong and like that. I'm not that far over there. I'm just saying you should be saying something. Now, if listen, guys, don't attack me. Oh, Lord have mercy. Don't come from my head. Listen to me. I'm just saying, if his wife can get on his show and talk about how they got all this stuff coming in the future for Charlie, she can also get on his show and say, yo, stuff ain't adding up with my husband's death. What really happened, we're going to get down to the bottom of this, and I promise you justice will be served. That's what she should be saying. Is it me? God. I'm not talking about whether or not she's grieving or not. I understand, just like everybody else has said, people grieve in their own way. She may have grieved in public. She may be getting up on, different platforms and hee-ha-haing, but she might have had a hard time in private. The Lord probably filled her up with peace and filled her up with strength to the point where she can do anything now, even hula hoop. Do anything now. I heard laughing and giggling. She probably, I'm not coming against that. That's not my issue. My problem is, why is nothing being said when there's holes in the case? This goes for anyone. But I'm just saying, really for, the wife, like, my heart goes out to the wife still. My heart goes out to the children, the wife, the family. I'm just saying, am I wrong for saying that? Am I wrong? Like, sorry, man. I just don't understand. Like, I'm not married, but when I get married and I have children, God forbid something like that happens. But if I happen to go out like a martyr, my wife better be the first one what Candace is doing. My wife better be, yo, CO, let's get together. Let's figure this thing out. My husband was taken out and it's not what they're saying it is. Let's do this. Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Ride or die. Like, that's what Candace is doing. People think she's crazy. People think she's crazy. I think it's crazy how nobody can speak up about what's really going on. Different individuals who's supposed to be close friends of Charlie, seeing holes in the case and won't say nothing about it, won't speak up about it. That just me? Show one. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, right? Charlie's team have still been doing his show. But ain't none of them talking like Patrick, David, and Vinny. Ain't none of them talking like Candace Owens. They going on like everything's just cool candy. We actually got a small clip of when Erica came on, actually. Let's look at a little bit of it.
So every day when Charlie would go into the office, he would see our daughter and she would just be playing and she would look at him. She watched the show every day. She couldn't email, but this was her version of emailing. Every day she'd...
This seems like this got me, the story got me emotional. They all seem pretty cool though. That's not my point though. Listen, like we said, people grieve in their own way, but how is the show just so nobody's talking about the missing, the holes in the case?
And she did it because Daddy would take the item that she gave to him and have it on the show with him. And sometimes he would say, like, this is the item that my daughter gave me. Sometimes he wouldn't, just to see if she was really watching. And so when he would come home, she would be like, Daddy, I saw the puppet on the show today. Daddy, I saw the moose on the show today. Daddy, you brought baby Buff on the show today? Like, so that was their little connection point of, and
that's like 2 weeks after his assassination. If that. I had different people reaching out to me saying, when their significant other passed, it took them months to get out the bed. But, I prayed for strength when it came to Erica. And I pray that's the case. I'm not one that just draw down on somebody without what I would like to be facts. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that nobody is speaking up about the missing pieces to the case. Even Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, has come out and said, yo, it's too much stuff that's making sense. We're going to start looking into these conspiracy theories. How in the world are you? were you on Charlie's side? Goes for his team as well. Yet you're the ones not saying anything. Are you scared? Is fear what's doing it? Forget that. Listen, load up and say what you got to say. If my partner, one of my best friends, spouse, somebody close to me was assassinated and I started seeing that there was holes in the case, it's up. It's up. Justice will be served. If it takes my last breath investigating. There's different people who are investigating different cases for things that have happened to their family members to this day. That happened in the 80s. That happened in the 90s. That happened in the 70s. People to this day trying to figure different things out. And you got a problem with Candace because she's been investigating for 3 weeks. Okay. Did I say too much? Lord have mercy. Let's get back to this Patrick show.
What does it say?
There isn't any record, credible evidence, court filings, or FBI reports.
I don't understand this, guys.
No,
I don't understand this because to me, what?
They were looking at saying there was no evidence of time being taken for the crime scene. Isn't that crazy? Some different places have taken days off, months off, shutting it down for the crime scene to be investigated. But the Charlie one, nothing.
What was that guy's, the something collector, Bone Collector? What was that movie?
With Denzel.
Denzel Washington and I don't know what it was.
So there's a simple question I have. Why didn't the police secure the area and take all the photographs? They have these little number tents. Have you seen them? They say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They put them on the ground. And they take photographs. Did anybody see any of that here?
No, and there was police presence.
So there's a simple, without going conspiracy, simple fact-based question. Why didn't law enforcement, campus police, local police, FBI, sequester and photograph everything the way that we see it?
Let me ask you a question. If this happens to me and my wife tells the FBI, I don't want you to investigate it, does the FBI still has a duty to go out there and investigate it?
Well, she just...
Oh, shoot. Pat's starting to ask questions to himself. You can already see. If my wife tells him, what are you implying, Pat? We all would like to know. I can't, listen. I'm going to speak whether you like it or not, because I'm not speaking from a place of being malicious. I'm speaking from a place of a pure heart. That's why I said things are a little off, but I'm not, coming down on different individuals. I'm just wondering what's going on with different individuals.
Made herself the first suspect.
Yeah, that increases the odds of the investigation.
I mean,
but if family says we're good, we're moved. I'm trying to find out who has the authority to say, you know how sometimes somebody commits a crime against you, we're not filing any charges. Can that immediately stop an investigation?
I don't think
Shouldn't the FBI and the police department still, even if
in the case of simple battery or things like this, I can decide. So you punch me.
Too many questions.
You punch me in a restaurant. There are no cameras in the restaurant, nothing anywhere.
And you know where I'm at.
And there's no witnesses.
It's not obviously private conversation, but
and guess what? The more and more I think about that, the more and more yours is making sense. And so, Pat, my cousin Mike's wife Nina just messaged me. Her kids were at the Saugus school shooting. They closed the whole school down for 5 days. 5 days. Nobody went to the
closed, and was anybody?
You hear that? They closed the whole school down for 5 days. What did I just say earlier? They should have closed the whole school down.
Saugus, he started shooting. I don't remember how many people, but
5 days.
5 days, the school was shut down.
And for Charlie Kirk to be assassinated.
Days after it was construction. Days after they were already digging up the floor.
So by the way, if anybody is sitting here and you're like, you guys are going down the rabbit hole, I can't believe you're doing this. Do you know what you're doing? You're giving credibility to everybody that's going down the rabbit hole by simply doing what you just did.
If you call wanting to get truth going down a rabbit hole, call me Thumper. Call me Thumper. Because no one else wants to look into the truth. So different people have to. And if you want to call it a rabbit hole, give me a carrot. That's all, folks.
So you got other instances you want to stay there for 4 or 5 weeks, sometimes 2 months. At one case, house, no one goes in there for nearly 8 months, and you're telling me for this one, nobody wants to come and investigate to see what happened there? You're doing this to yourself.
Yep.
You're doing this to yourself. By the way,
Hey, Rob, pull this. Just search for murder scene investigation.
Pat,
photos.
three
And
killed
then
as
just
long
find
as
it.
three
And let's look
injured.
at the yellow tape.
He killed 3 people.
Go images.
Quick question though. So
Take a look right here. You see this? That's it. This is FBI taping it off. Everything would get tagged, Pat. And look at all the pictures they would take here. How many items they have there. They have, in this isn't Charlie Kirk, but in this FBI investigation,
Everything, look at there's a
there are
phone.
75 points that are being photographed.
Just from what we see. Just from what we see. And they just walked away from it. That's gross negligence or incompetence. Like what?
Look
you
at
guys
that.
are being negligent.
I was just about to say that. I think Hamlin's razor, I mean, who made that the universal principle? Like, I almost think it could be the opposite of that sometimes. Don't attribute to stupidity what could be attributed to malice. 'Cause, I mean,
No, I think Hanlon's razor is necessary. It's what makes America so great. Justice, right? Innocent till proven guilty. Okay? Yes, trust, but verify. So this is the part where I have questions. And by the way, we're not even professionals. We don't do this for a living. We're just asking basic questions that you don't have the answers for. And in any case, if you come to me and you say, Dad, I want this. No. Well, you did it for my brother. And you're like, oh, shit. Okay. So guess what? The natural reaction is to do what? To get a comp. My offer is $800,000. It's a $1.1 million house. No, it's an $800,000 house. Why? Because a house that was built after yours in better condition with recent upgrades, with 1 additional bedroom and a swimming pool, and 0.1 acre bigger than yours sold for $798,000, and I'm giving you $800,000. And that happened 3 months ago. I'm using the comp.
Yes.
So to me, the comp on this is, if you've spent weeks at a different place, and this is the biggest story, the biggest assassination we've had in America the last 60 years, and you move this quickly, I don't know. To me, the biggest thing is this, by the way, okay? To me, the biggest thing is when the conversations comes about, well, it's Israel. Nope, I'm not putting it there. To me, the conversation, well, they had a meeting because of this. Okay, Bill Ackman shows the text. To me, the conversation is, okay, you want to debunk those or whatever? Fine. To me, but then if you're hearing conversations about, no, man, why don't you guys want to ask more questions to see what happened? Guess what? You give credibility. That's the area where you're like, there's a point there. There's a point of what's going on here. You want me to sit on the sidelines and think that's it? No, your comp sucks. You're losing. By the way, again, this goes back to the situation where you ask, again, too suspicious that all of these things are going on. Who are you protecting? Who are you hiding? Who are you defending? Who are you worried about? Of course, we heard the one story that the guy comes out and says, Bill Clinton, yes, but Trump, no, right? What was that one?
The DOJ for James O'Keefe
DOJ
for Project
James
Veritas.
O'Keefe. Yeah, and so, okay. No, he didn't do anything for us. Yeah, he actually did for you, right? So we learned. But you make people be skeptical. So to me, the construction of Utah Valley University campus site where Charlie Kirk was assassinated involves removing the bloodstains, grass, and replacing it with bricks, creating a makeshift memorial area where people can leave mementos. There are no confirmed detail on additional permanent structures beyond this modification. What type of construction is being done at the campus?
Bro.
And you do it that quickly?
No.
They say the scene was held for 8 to 14 days before releasing it.
Yeah.
That's according to Grok.
Guess what? Yeah. That's not what I saw where students were recording going, look, they're already digging it up. I'm just curious, too, from our audience, that poll that you ran, what's the percentage of them not being convinced about the official story? Do we have the... I'm curious to where...
82 to 18 last time I saw.
82% are like, no,
That's
not
nearly 8,000 votes.
that's yeah, not believing it. And good for you guys.
Yeah.
You have to question for just this guy's, just for his for Charlie, bro, for his soul, like, because his friends aren't doing it.
Guys, put it in the comments whether you believe the official story or you don't believe it. Put it in the comments. Because I know we've been, going down, finding truth, but I really want to hear who actually believes that the initial story with Tyler Robinson is true and who doesn't. If you believe it, put I believe the initial story. If you don't, put I don't believe the initial story.
Yeah.
Like, where is the whole? Everybody's moved on. They're on podcasts, smiling, and your boy, your husband, your God.
There it is. Oh man, there it is. There it is. I'm not the only. There it is. Your boy, your husband, y'all just on a podcast smiling. Hee hee ha ha. Hee hee ha ha. Snap out of it. Has no one seen what has been done? That's what it should have been on the show. Yo, it's about to go up, y'all. Y'all ready? What are we talking about here? I'm sorry, guys. I can't get behind that. If nobody comes out and starts speaking up, I can't get behind that.
Hey, that was running a $500 million company is gone. And y'all are just like, yeah, we're going to just release old footage of him. We have tons. They use the word excited and smiled. I know everybody grieves in their own way, but guys, for his sake.
He's talking about his wife. Straight up, he's talking about his wife. Because his wife said, we're excited. We're so excited. This is like 2 weeks. He's talking about, he's seen it and he thought it was off. Listen, guys, we're human beings. A lot of people seen it and they were like, oh, wait a minute. But again, I'm not too far on this side. I'm not too far on that side. But I can see. I got eyes. I know what y'all thinking. I know what y'all talking about. Many people are on one side saying, why in the world is she so happy and excited? Somebody just got assassinated, nor is she looking into what's really going on. The other side is saying people grieve in their own way. The Lord probably filled her with strength and peace. I can understand both sides. I can. So I can look at it from both ways, from both angles. On one side, it is off. On the other side, it's like, that's a lot of strength.
Take a time out with the future of TPUSA and find out what the hell's going on. Ask about that. George Zinn, I don't know where he is. I don't know where the child pedophilia on his phone is. There needs to be, I hope they're doing it, guys, because you know what's going to happen.
What is Tucker questioning?
Have you guys even heard what Tucker had to say?
No, but we've seen cases like this where, the district attorney is downtown and all these people show up and they're holding little people.
Interesting take, guys. You can watch the whole episode of that on Patrick Bet-David's show. That was pretty much the end, though. I love the questions that are being asked right now because it wasn't being asked at first. It wasn't. The only person who was asking these questions was CEO, and people was looking at her like she was crazy. But now, even Patrick, and the thing about Patrick is, even from his initial response, when he was kind of like balanced, I felt his heart. I even said it on the episode. I was like, I can feel his heart. He's in the middle. Now he's leaning towards the side of, well, what's really going on? And I think that's where a lot of us are, because we really just want truth. For somebody who we believe to be a brother in the faith and was assassinated, who was a martyr. That's why we continue to look into it, because we feel he was a brother in the faith. Just like if you had a real brother whose life was taken and the cops was telling you lies, you'd want to look more into that. Would you not? Would you not want justice? Would you not want truth to come out? I would. Especially when you can clearly see the holes in the story. Clearly see the holes in the story. This is false. This is false. This is false. That's not an entry wound. How in the world did Tyler Robinson shoot him? Tyler Robinson never been on the UVU campus. What? His dad didn't really turn him in. What? His boyfriend disappeared. What? George Zinn was also in connection with 9/11 and the Boston bombings. What? Charlie changed his position with Israel 48 hours before the shooting. What? A little off to me. Give me a headache. May the Lord continue to bring more truth out. More people come into wanting to see what's really going on. Hat goes off to Vinny. You asking the right questions, brother. The right questions are finally being asked from different individuals who it should be getting asked from. They did construction. They did construction. Not only did they not take time out to tape the whole section off and investigate, but they decided to come and do construction. That's a different level of wickedness. That's a different level of just not caring what the people of America think. May the Lord bring light to where the real evil is. And I believe it's happening. Because people are finally starting to wake up and pay attention. Especially with this situation. This was meant to happen, I believe. It was allowed to happen. For different reasons. For more people to come to the Lord. And for more people to open their eyes to the real wickedness in the world. And we're starting to see exactly what it is. Amen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. God bless. Shalom.